What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of In the Moment with Dr. Brett Jones. Today I'm joined here by my brother Bill, and we're going to be showing you an upper cervical adjustment and some rib adjustments to help repair a frozen shoulder. And so, brother Bill, can you stand up for me real quick? And so we're assessing his shoulder motion just a moment ago, and what we noticed is when you lift up the left side, you go a little bit higher than you do the right. So go ahead and show the camera here. There you go, and go ahead and do the right side. So about 90 degrees, right? And what was the thing that you noticed when I actually pressed in on the atlas when you go ahead and do that right side again? It's just a little bit better, but you also noticed that it stopped clicking, right?
Yeah, the clicking wasn't as pronounced.
Which is interesting for a few reasons. And so for those of you that have never seen a frozen shoulder helped by an upper cervical adjustment, one of the big reasons for that is there's something called the spinal accessory nerve that has a unique representation or unique collaboration with the upper cervical spine, meaning that that accessory nerve wraps right around the posterior arch of C1, which is the atlas vertebra. Now the spinal accessory nerve is responsible for both sternocleidomastoid function and your upper trapezius. And so when you have dysfunction going on with that nerve, there's a potential that it can throw off shoulder motion and create what we call a frozen shoulder. Not to say that there's not other degeneration happening in the shoulder, but we know that we can increase function if we remove upper cervical stress. And so upon evaluation, I also detected that he had aberration of movement, both in the upper cervical neck and in the rib cage. And so we're gonna go ahead and check him out full spine, and then we're gonna do some adjustments with him, and then we're gonna recheck how his shoulder is gonna move. So Brother Bill, let's go ahead and have you go face down here. So again, just on initial assessment, I like to check how the breath is flowing throughout the entire system. Just noticing what I notice. And you can also start to begin to check the entire system, actually even through the heels. And so if you're familiar with the concepts of biotensegrity, you'll realize how everything is related to everything. And here's something cool I want to show you guys. And so you might pick up that there's just some, I don't know what you call stuckness, fixation, adhesion within the actual heel joint, but then you can actually read up the Achilles tendon, up the hamstring, into the SI joint, or into the femoral acetabular joint, or into, let's say, the TL. And it's all based on how much I distract the heel. So if I want to go to the TL, it's right there. So what you'll see is I relax, I pull, it goes right into the TL, and then it goes and it relaxes. So you can get compression and tension of the TL junction, but I can do it just at the knee to see how the knee is unwinding or winding, or does it have torsion. I can check femoral acetabular joint, so I bring it out slightly more lateral, and just getting that wave of motion going all the way up just into here. But when I was doing that, I was feeling like, okay, well, the TL is not moving very well. And you can start to assess the spine. What I'm saying is through the heels or through the occiput, through a long lever, if you're listening and if you're clear on what you're looking for. So for Bill, we're gonna start at his T12, T11. So it's right here. And now I'm either doing clockwise or counterclockwise motion, trying to see where the fascial system actually relaxes. And so we have 3 layers primarily of fascia, the superficial, intermediate, and a deep layer, and they can do all kinds of twisting and winding. And so what you're looking for is not just misalignment, or what we're looking for is not just misalignment of the spine, but how that's reflecting out into the muscles, into the fascia, affecting the disc, and really affecting everything all the way into the cell. And so if you start to pick up those levels of distortion, what you're looking for is what is the special combination of hand movement and body sync, and really your entire system moving with their system that starts to unlock everything. And then when you deliver an adjustment from there, it is more likely to carry through the entire system. So for Bill, it's an S to I movement of the middle layer of fascia down, then lateral movement of lean, and then I to S traction, boom, through the entire system. And so for those of you that just saw that adjustment, if you rewind the adjustment, what you're going to see is not only did we get release here, it released, kicked his heels up, and released and went all the way through the occiput. So that actual adjustive impulse carried throughout the entire system. And the reason for that is we removed the fascial stress and tension that was in the system on the setup. And how I like to explain this is like, imagine you have a still pond, right? Or you're the first one on the lake when you're going wakeboarding, and it's just crystal clear. If I drop a pebble in a crystal clear pond and it ripples throughout the entire pond or throughout the entire lake. When people have been on the lake for a while and there's many boats on there and jet skis and all of that, and it's just turbulent waters, you could drop something in the water and you barely could tell that anything happens because you have the interference patterns. So how can you still the lake before delivering the adjustment to see the ripple go through? All right, go ahead and stand up for me. So that was the primary that we wanted to do, adjust before doing some of these other adjustments. And then go ahead and just walk right over here and actually face away from me, Bill. So on assessment, what I also found had a pretty anterior second and third rib. So we're going to do a second and third rib from the front. I'm going to make a connection with my thenar, and then I'm going to back it up with my support hand here. Let your shoulders just drop, your arms just drop. Then let your head start to come back towards me. Good. Take a nice breath in, and then let it out. Lean back. I got you. Come back to neutral. There you go. Take a breath in, and let it go, let it out. Right there. There we go. Good. So just a nice little superficial release. It wasn't a deep, deep set of the third rib. Got it to traction up. And then we're going to repalpate the upper cervical. Go ahead, turn your head to the right, Bill, and to the left, and straight. And then laterally bend this way. So you're going to bend your head over, and then bend your head over this other way. Yeah, so there's still something big going on this right side. So you're going to lay on your side with this right side up. So you'll face me. So what we're going to be doing for Bill is what we call a toggle adjustment. Side laying toggle. And you go ahead and put your arm underneath your head.
That might be tough.
That one's tough, huh? Yeah. So we're going to have to get some pillows here. Give me 1 second. Now traditionally, the toggle was done with a big recoil. What we're going to be doing today, we'll have a little bit less recoil because we actually want to get a strong set on it.
There you go.
How's that?
Now, where do you want?
Yeah, just leave your arm here. I do want to try to start the neck off as close to neutral as possible. We're going to have this arm just going down here. And actually, I could set the drop piece in a way. I'm not going to use the drop piece, but we're letting it help us set us up so that the atlas could still carry. And then what I want to do is a pressure test that if I make this adjustment, I'm going to have enough counterforce able to allow me to help move this vertebra. So we're going to be adjusting a C1. And this C1, we are actually going to move. There should be an audible. And that's because we're not doing a recoil right out of it. We're actually going to set it. So I'm going to find his C2 spinous process. And then I'm going to find his mastoid and start to dissect the distance about 2/3 of the way to the mastoid to find the posterior arch of atlas. Slide my pisiform in. Good. And now, again, this comes to micro-tuning and checking the biotensegrity of the system to where do things start to open up. And since he has a heavy relationship to atlas and shoulder, I'm going to do micro shoulder movement with my forearm, checking when the system starts to open, making sure that I'm avoiding the jaw. Good. Now, Bill, take a breath down the arm. Let this open up. There you go. So with every inhale, fill more space without you having to force it. You're just breathing into it. So you're not having to force anything. Good. Relax right there. There it is, right there. Whew. Good. On your back for me. Thought you were going to yell out on that one. Nah. Got to laugh instead. Wasn't expecting that one,
I didn't know what to expect on that.
Yeah, that's good. Sometimes that's a good thing. So now just checking rotation checking how things are moving, rechecking atlas movement. Got a decent discharge there. I'm feeling like it's a little stuck on his occiput as well. So occiput in the opposite direction. So his posterior atlas, anterior occiput. So we're gonna help the occiput glide down the posterior arch of atlas while trying to actually maintain. So I'm using one finger to maintain the adjustment I just did on the atlas with another finger right below, contacting the occiput to make an adjustment. There we go. Whew, good release, brother.
Go forward, brother.
There it is. Could feel like there's slightly more work I could do on this third and fourth rib, so we're gonna use an activator. Again, rib cage function can alter glenohumeral joint or AC joint. So you have your acromioclavicular joint, you have your SC joint. So the entire clavicle, first rib, second rib, third rib, fourth rib, all of that are intimately related to shoulder function. That's feeling better. Cool. So we've worked on the upper cervical, mainly occiput and atlas. So the first adjustment that we did when he was side laying was a toggle adjustment for the atlas. The second adjustment was more for the occiput. We helped open the rib cage. We checked the biotensegrity of the system, opened up T12. And again, all of this, we haven't touched the shoulder yet. You know, touched the shoulder. We haven't adjusted the shoulder. But let's see how the shoulder's gonna move. Come on up, brother. And again, stand up, face the camera. Let's see that left arm motion. Good. Let's see that right arm motion. A little bit better? Yeah. What do you think, about another 15 degrees there?
I think so, yeah.
How's it feel there?
It feels good. No clicking.
No clicking. Cool. So now just working on strength component.
Yeah.
Not bad for an upper neck adjustment, huh?
Yeah.
Boom.
Thank you.
There it is. You're welcome. So there it is, In the Moment, episode 4. If you like this video, make sure to share, subscribe, and give it a like if it's on Facebook, and we'll see you next week.